readiness to learn or unlearn or relearn? Mm, are they asking any
Nandini,
questions?
your video is off. If you can just check.
Yeah, I think. So are they digging deeper, or are they just stuck at their own level? They are just accepting, this is it, and there is no further inquiry. Um, do they have any, um, you know, are they asking any question of why, when, who, where, these kinds of questions? It doesn't appear to be in this slide. So let us go further. And here we have something interesting. Never to lose a holy curiosity. We were all born curious, but now um, we have to examine whether we are having the curiosity within us. It is a choice that we have. Um, as children keep asking questions for no other reason but for their own desire to know, uh, we adults have formed fixed cognitive patterns. And traditional schooling has also not helped in that. Here we see the timelessness of inquiry. This is not an ordinary clock, as we can see. This goes beyond, it is just unending. So can we understand the timelessness of inquiry? What is coming to mind? Is there a start or a stop here? Isn't it intriguing? Um, is there any conclusion? This is what I'm trying to express, that inquiry is an unending sort of knack that we possess. It can emerge at any time. I cannot fix the time. Okay, today I'm curious and tomorrow I'm not. Um, that neural connection can suddenly strike me. I can connect the dots from anywhere due to those connections that we saw in that slide. I think this is very vital. And let's go to the next slide, please. We look at what curiosity may not be. Uh, so suppose we are playing a game where we think that we are strategizing, like all these youngsters have their games that they play. So it is just a challenging stimuli over there, and with programmed outcomes. So is there any curiosity in that if I do this, this will happen? Is there emergence of something new? No, certainly not. What about a goal or an outcome? If I have planned, maybe I am trying to do some research, or maybe a medical research, or something to prove a point. And what I do, it is not it is programmed in such a way. I mean, I'm doing it in such a way to prove a point. Then obviously the outcome is already there, and I'm just trying to prove the point. So, or suppose I am trying to go to a city and I ask the travel agent, okay, what are my choices? And I take the choice of my destination and how I'm to get there. So, is there an inquiry and a resultant curiosity which is fulfilled? If there is like I said, a pre-decided strategy where there is no wrong or right, but there is a strategy to prove a point. So obviously there is no curiosity in that. I just have to do things in a particular mechanical way. No, next slide, please. This is now here I've tried to show these three examples. This may or may not uh, appeal. So here is the case of a beggar. So maybe he's hungry and he's worried about providing for his family, his basic needs. So it is hardly likely, it is possible that he doesn't inquire if he could find work for survival. If he could inquire into that, then he starts to conserve his energy. But if he's just stressed and thinking and spending his vital energy in how hopeless the situation is, so obviously this curiosity, the knack of curiosity, is not flowering at any rate. Now look at the situation of an interview where the interviewers are looking as if they are expecting certain answers, some typical replies, and the person who's being interviewed is not very comfortable, and it doesn't appear that they are ready for some creative answers from this interviewed person, because he must fit into a designated role. And so if he doesn't, he's out. So here, there is no chance that, if you see that, this curiosity could be blooming. Now let's look at the student who is burdened with a huge academic load. He has a routine of tests, examinations. So does it seem likely that he could be experimenting with whatever is going on in his life and in his world? Do you think he would be, like, does he even have time to play, that kind of thing? Let's go to the next slide, please. So the sort of people that we found are curious, they appear to show some attributes, but why? They are able to question everything, even in pain or distress, or even if they are fearful, they are likely to examine it. They also show some cognitive flexibility. They prefer growth and safety beyond their comfort zone also at times. They prefer autonomy over some fixed rules and blind obedience to the same. They are unlikely to commit to initial ideas, and they would like to reach their own conclusion creatively. So, does it appear that this natural knack, is agendaless? Does it appear that they are just following some activity? Are we making some connection with those neural connections? Is something going on in their minds? Probably there is. Let us see. So, also, is curiosity positive or negative? Would anybody like to decide for themselves, or give any comment on that? Do you think curiosity is positive or negative? Or no answer? No comments?
Yeah, yeah.
Can I
You are
say
on
something?
mute.
Yeah, Harmit, please.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think you cannot define it to be positive or negative. Curiosity is just moving forward and knowing more. How you utilize that curiosity and inquiry process is the outcome might be positive or negative, but the process of inquiry, I don't think it would be negative because you will only gain experience and knowledge out of it.
Right.
I'm
So
not sure whether
curiosity,
I'm right or wrong. Yes.
yeah. So generally, people feel, oh, somebody is so curious, they are so nosy, they are interfering. That is the connotation that is attached to curiosity. But as you rightly said, curiosity is a neutral sort of thing, where since asking of questions leads to some kind of, let's say, it irons out so many things, so many doubts or questions in our minds. It provides answers, and we go to deeper levels. So that gives rise to a lot of conservation of energy, which could be spent in these blockages like fear and other things that we talk about. And so it is a neutral thing. Um, Also, we spoke about inquiry, how it is spontaneous and it doesn't end anywhere, the timelessness. And so it just goes on. There is a spontaneity like the river, it just continues to flow. So let's go to the next one, please. Here is a real life example. Here are two friends. Okay, let's take the example of A and B. And so A doesn't like B. And so if I'm B, I perceive this dislike through behavior, through a behavior which is cold and aloof. It is not cordial. It shuts me out uh, when she shouts at me. it causes certain sensations at my P3 level. If you remember from Rashi's presentation yesterday, from my psychological level, I feel very rejected. And this translates into my feeling of avoiding her and maybe causes a headache somewhere. So if I am able to examine and inquire why I am feeling bad, am I ready to inquire? Um, why am I expected to behave in a particular way? What is the image that I have in my mind of her? So first, let me bring my house in order, and in this way, I reinstate the inquiry. I see myself. When I see myself, I'm ready to examine myself. The artificial image dissolves, and the truth is revealed. So, like we saw, uh, inquiry is a dynamic, ongoing process. There is this jigsaw puzzle which is fitting, it is joining pieces, it is the patterns that are emerging after joining the dots. The confusion dissolves, the truth is revealed, and thereby energy is conserved. So let's go to the next one. I regain my poise. I homeostasis is restored, and in this way, there is a balance. It is neither positive or negative. It is a neutral state of being. And a look at curiosity blooming, how beautiful it is. It is a total conservation of energy and full of beauty. Thank you. Uh, this was what was my examination of this. Let us now discuss what we think about it. So, yes, please.
Please go
I
ahead.
have a question actually. I just wanted to understand that why is it that sometimes when we are inquiring, in the process of inquiry, whatever is the learning or knowledge that we gain, we are not able to apply it in our life. It only stays as knowledge. It does not transform into practical acceptance and into practicality.
Uh, can you be a little more specific if that doesn't bother you?
So there are certain things that I read about and I like and I want to imbibe into my life. But in a real life situation, I'm not able to apply it. But later on, I realized that I should have reacted like this. I should have done this. In hindsight, that is the response that I get from my mind. But when I keep inquiring more and more about the situation, I am not able to practically apply what I have read. So the theory and practicality do not match. How do we apply the inquiry that we are doing in our real life? And I have experienced this. That is why I'm asking this to you.
Uh, you know, like suppose you are placed when you, like you said, you have an open mind to this particular thing, and you have thought about it that you could behave in this way, right? Now, when a similar situation develops later on, maybe something will emerge because of your previous examination of the situation, and you will form another connection and move in that way. You never know. You cannot plan these things.
Yes, but in my experience, my theory and practical does not match. I want to do certain things after learning new things, but I'm not able to apply it in real life.
Are you
Like today,
talking about a
I have
thing?
attended this seminar. No, no, like today, I have attended your seminar. A very simple thing. I would like to inquire more. I would like to go deeper, have an open mind, be agendaless. But in real life, somewhere I would, in the process of inquiry, I would find an agenda in that. And then the entire experience fades out. So
So
theory and
why,
practical does not match. That is what I'm trying to tell you. So
so
how can
why are
we
you
bring it?
wanting?
Why am I wanting? Of course, because I
Yeah.
want to grow and improve. I want to
You
grow
want
and
to
improve, and I don't. Yes,
Yeah. So, like it was, inquiry being a natural knack. You won't even know when you come into the natural knack.
okay.
You can't plan it in such a way, no, that it just goes round and round. Uh, you see,
What is an improvement, Harmit?
Going one step forward, doing
Which direction?
things which direction has it in the positive direction. So if I am
What is
not
that
able to
positive
achieve
direction?
something and I
What
want
is
to
that?
achieve it,
What is that positive direction? How do we define a positive direction?
when you feel that things are going right, that is
What is the
positive.
right thing?
After doing something, if you have to rethink about it and you feel sad about it, or you have a certain emotion which disturbs your present being, that is not the right feeling. That is not the feeling that I want to carry,
Right. So why a disturbance happens?
because of a reflection which tells me that what has happened is not should not have happened in this way.
So when we call something as should not, that means there is a pre-decision about what should be.
But that happens only after the event is over.
Yes, but there is a matching with something should be. That is why we are coming to a conclusion that it should not be.
Correct.
Right. So
Correct.
there is a pre-planning behind all the disturbances. Can you understand that?
Yes. Yes.
So do you
Yeah.
see that pre-planning is natural?
Mm, I think somewhere, yes, it does come as humans. Uh, we do reflect our actions. We do reflect upon everything that we do, and
Okay,
the
let's replace
afterthought
the
is
question, the word natural to real. Pre-planning. So what is the meaning of pre-planning? Pre-planning means a point to reach, right?
a whole.
Decision of a point to reach. That is what is the pre-planning?
when we are in a conversation, right? Like we are right now in a conversation.
Yeah.
There is no planning that is happening.
Yes.
But
Yes.
after this seminar is over, maybe I reflect on it, and then maybe it's just a random example that I'm giving you. Maybe I feel that I should have not done it this way, or I should have asked this question in a better way. So then the afterthought is what disturbs, not the current event which is happening.
No, the disturbance again, in this case also, when you say that you would have not done this way, that means you
Yes,
already have a preconceived how it would have been done.
but that happens after the event, right? Not in the instance of the moment, not in the present.
Yeah,
It
so
is an
the
afterthought.
disturbance, when you reflect or you analyze, you
Yes,
experience the disturbance, but there
yes.
is a subtle
There is a
decision
certain
about,
way in our mind that yes, ऐसा होना चाहिए. Correct.
right? So
Yes.
वो ऐसा होना चाहिए. This particular image, what we form, is limited in its exploration. That is the whole point in understanding the inquiry. When we form an image out of whatsoever strategy, whatsoever the expectation, whatever we call it, but if we form an image before an event, that is always limited, because that's a part of the truth, part of the whole.
No, I'm. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. It is not before the event. It is after the event.
No, after the event, when you come to a conclusion that it would have not done, I should have not asked this way, or I should have not done this way, that means
Yes.
there is always a conditioned image in the mind which is being mapped and being proposed that I should have not done.
Okay.
Are you able to comprehend this? Like whenever after the event or whenever we are bringing this should not or should, there is an image with which I'm comparing consistently.
Yes, yes,
Then only the
getting
should
it.
and should not is coming in. Yeah, Yash, you want to
Correct.
reflect? Yeah, Yash, please.
I just wanted to join in this conversation.
Yes,
So
please.
since Harmeet was mentioning that she would read something, or like attending a seminar of this sort, and then pick up something from there, that that this is the right approach, that uh, whether it's about inquiry or about anything else. And now, since we were also talking about pre-planning, and then she was talking about post-event reflections. So is there this kind of connection that the image is getting built when uh, one is actually going, or rather, uh, taking part in activities which can be considered as self improvement or growth, or like some sort of improvement from where one is. And so is that where the pre planning is happening, that that you pick up some clues, that on any given uh, thing, let's say today we are talking about inquiry, and then we inquiry is a word after all, right? I mean, if we can look at it like that, and then one picks up, uh, like any word that becomes significant for us. Let's say today's word is inquiry, and with any significant word, one can have uh, certain feelings about it, that whether it should be there, whether it should not be there, and what constitutes that thing which we want to either invite or we want to remove. So let's say one is sort of building that knowledge system. uh, is that where the pre-planning is happening, and then maybe that is then maybe being tested in real life, however it pans out. And then uh, inevitably, when testing happens, there is some outcome, like sometimes you would say that that it's you would pat yourself on your back, that I was able to do that, like I got there, I was able to figure things out, I was able to move through. And sometimes you're like, okay, now I'm stuck. Now I'm not really getting anywhere. So I'm just sort of sharing it in my language, but I wonder if this connects with what we're talking about.
I couldn't figure out much out of this somehow. See, the word inquiry, of course, is this questioning and queries and this and that. But now that we are on the specific thing of the knack of inquiry, um, it actually is something to do with the emergence, something to do with creativity of what comes. So there obviously can't be any pre-planning or programming into it. And what was never expected emerges, it comes to light. So the truth is out there, but it starts to reveal itself. That is what uh, is this agendaless inquiring act. So
I think
You want to take
Yash
it?
is mentioning about the practical applicability of planning, where we see conventionally we are in a habit of planning some or other way.
Yes, we are.
So Yash is questioning about that, the repercussion of that habit of planning. Is that so, Yash? I may.
Yeah, the way I would put it is very simple. That that today in today's event, since I just have this preference for a live example. So today, are we planning or not? Whatever we are uh, talking about today, is that going to stay with us tomorrow or not?
See, what looks like planning may not be having the impact of planning in one sensation level. So, two people may be doing the same thing. One is affected at the sensational level, and other one is not. But apparently, action-wise, both are doing some sort of planning from a bystander's point of view. So are you considering the sensational aspect, the impact at the sensation level of the individual?
So I think the word that you used was affected. So I think the word affected seemed to have a very specific connotation, that that it's not it's not just any impact. It's like being burdened, as if
Yes, yes, yes. Being
like
burdened
not
one.
any it's not a pleasant sensation that I'm hearing from you. That is there a burden that is coming up, and maybe it's not happening with every person. Maybe for some people it is coming up, maybe for some people it's not.
Yeah.
Is that
So what is the aspect which actually governs this non-impact on some individual? That is what is the inquiry. What we understand. The individual who is not impacted at the sensation level is having an active inquiry, and that is the reason it is not coming to the sensation level. That's what is coming at this moment. I don't know, like if others can contribute.
So it is not coming to the sensation level because there is no conclusion which is drawn.
Yes.
So one may have a plan, but if one is not thinking that, if one is thinking that even if the plan changes,
It doesn't bother me.
uh, it doesn't bother me.
There is no botheration. Yes. It comes from a deep understanding and
And
awareness.
I'm going on inquiring even when it changes.
And I'm not fearful of the outcome. I'm neutral about it. I am with the
I'm
flow.
I may have some fear in the beginning, but when I inquire into it, it may dissolve.
so? If I can say
And
that
then become
fearful, when one is not fearful,
Yeah.
then what is that state?
Yes.
Because that seems to be like a very central aspect of the flow of inquiry that we are talking about. So that being not fearful, can we inquire into it a little bit? That state of not being fearful.
I think any sensation can become a fear or can become an anger. So the framework is quite similar. You know, necessarily it has an image which is being mapped in when it gets mapped. If it is a positive image, so called, if it gets mapped, we are excited about it. If it doesn't, then we have these negative emotions, so called fear, anger, and all those stuff. So I think the core issue is that image formation in our mind. which we keeps on mapping or matching, whether that is coming in mapped with that image or not, the outcome, the experience. And in the bargain we actually limit our exploration of the experience is a wholesome thing, but when we keep on mapping with some image, that time we are focusing on a specific portion of the experience, not the whole, so we miss out a lot in the bargain.
So,
So are we saying that we are busy comparing all the time
Yeah.
with something to match with, and that comparison is actually because of that comparison we are not able to see the whole picture.
And because of that comparison only the fear comes, you know.
Yeah.
So at the core, at the root cause, if there is no image formation, and that image only in different names we call it: agenda, goal, purpose, planning.
Planning.
Yeah, perhaps.
Nandini, there was another question that was coming to mind. Is there any connection of belief with inquiry?
Well, belief limits inquiry. Belief is a limitation to inquiry because inquiry needs a full range of freedom to uh, to gather information. So if we are like a horse wearing, those blinkers of a particular type, then obviously that's a lot of burden on the organism, and the processing of information and obviously the knack of inquiry is restricted to that extent. Is it not?
How do you define belief, Minu? What is belief in your understanding?
Something that is um when you think that this is how it is, pre-decided notion.
So isn't that also the image which already exists? Sorry.
Looks like so to me.
Yeah,
Like I don't know. Like Minu can vet it.
yeah, something that we think is but isn't.
So our experiences are also limited to that extent. Is it like that?
It may or may not be, but it's an image.
So there is either belief or inquiry. Both cannot exist together.
Cannot coexist.
That is what if we are with some pre-decided thing.
And belief means disbelief also,
Ready,
right?
yeah, belief as well as disbelief, because disbelief is also a kind of belief.
Right.
Not believing in something is also a belief that way. So that was what one reflection that was coming, that inquiry and anything pre-decided, whether it's belief.
So you have less than 5 minutes to go. Any other reflection for the new members, perhaps? Yeah, Yash, you want to reflect? Please go ahead.
I was just I'm responding to Minu's point about belief and so like belief and disbelief, and if I can look at it as conclusion. So is it only the prior image or the prior belief, or like a continuing thing, or is it something that is being uh, acted upon every time it comes up. You know, it's like either by way of affirmation or by way of uh, let's say, for disbelief, the word that you would use is, let's say, condemnation. Either affirmation or condemnation. One is maybe adding material into that thing that is there, that image, that belief, whatever you call it.
So you're proposing as an
So
ongoing
is
basis, it
that
is
like an
being
ongoing thing every time it comes?
okay. Okay. Yeah, Revati wanted to come in. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is not related to what you guys are talking right now, but there was a picture of beggar, and something like was shared wherein this person is not an enquirer. Am I? Is it so?
The better.
Yeah.
Yes, I was bringing up an image
Uh-huh.
where maybe it is a possibility that such a person could not be in the inquiring mode. He could be also. Like I pointed
Okay.
out, that if he starts to think that let me find a job, or thereby he conserves his energy and his vitality instead of that the unhappy frame of mind that he's in, uh, where it appears that he probably lacks the curiosity to explore further.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he could be also
Okay.
having the knack. It is possible and it is not impossible also.
Okay. Okay.
Somehow it's failing, the sharing of the screen. Anyway, we have around 2 minutes. I think Revati, you got that answer. Like, she's not trying to conclude that the beggar is not an inquirer. There is a possibility because of the pressure of the survivals, the
Hmm.
inquiry may get suppressed. That's what I think Nandini was proposing.
Yes.
The
Okay. Yeah.
survival pressure which could cause a blocking of inquiry.
Okay.
What is your
Okay.
reflection? Can you quickly, in few seconds?
So it felt like somebody saying, "यार क्या कर रही है? Go get a job." In the first instant, you know. Uh, so it just felt like, okay, next goal has come. I need to get a job. I can't just sit like this.
Yeah,
I
so
can I
That
can't
it
just
looks like there is a starting point of inquiry. If you get a job, then
yeah,
you can be an inquirer.
yeah, exactly. And happens. It has happened. So I just
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to,
yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
Thanks a lot. We
Thank you,
have few
thank you.
seconds to go. And just an announcement, tomorrow we are trying to explore relationships, and Shilpi will be facilitating us about the disturbances in relationships. And I welcome all of you to join tomorrow. Thanks a lot, Nandini, for your time and facilitation. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Nandini.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.